Hey guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. So today we're going to start looking at the Toyway Resaurus line with this guy. It's the Styracosaurus. We were very kindly sent over 3 of these beautifully detailed dinosaurs from 1997 by Marcel from Demonds Reviews. He's a German reviewer. I'll put a link to his channel down below. But we're going to start off with this highly detailed and colourful Styracosaurus. Doesn't he look incredible? So let's give him a little 360 so you can get a better look at him from all angles. And you can see he boasts a very colourful and bright paint scheme, and he's really well articulated. We'll go into all the points of articulation in just a minute. Now these, as I said, were made in 1997, so they would have been competing with Jurassic Park The Lost World in the same year, and because of that I'm not sure whether these were popularised, and they might have been too expensive for children to pick these up. They were more like collector's pieces for the time, and because of that they're actually quite scarce now. They're quite hard to come by. You can see them on eBay every once in a while, and I'd highly recommend you pick these up. This is probably my favourite out of the 3, so I thought we'd kick off with this beautiful piece. So we'll kick off just by looking at this thing in its entirety, because it really is a beauty to behold, and you really get a sense of all these wonderful mixture of colours going on, and it's just such a striking, bold dinosaur. Before we even start to look at the sculpt close up, I really do think it's worth just taking in the beautiful paint scheme. I love that splash of blood red on the head there, bordered by that bright yellow. Incredible. Okay, so let's take a closer look. So starting off with the head sculpt, just look at this beautiful landscape of bumps and scales going on all around the face area, and the way we've got these additional horns here above the brow, going up the crest, and also this one on the cheek as well. It's just a fantastic looking head sculpt. With that splash of paint, just ends up looking like a Native American ready for battle. Really nice stylization. Feels like something out of a comic book actually. Even the white dots in the center of the eyes just really give it sort of a graphic novel stylization, almost like Cadillacs and dinosaurs, and I really like that look. You can see here we've got a gradient from this dark brown going down to this light grey, really nice and natural looking. Same with the beak area as well. The jaw is articulated. I'll go more into the articulation later, but if you open up the jaw there is a painted and sculpted tongue. Not an incredible amount of detail, just plain pink, and the roof of the mouth is painted as well. It's fairly flat, there's not much sculpt work going on in there, but the fact that they actually did an articulated jaw in 1997 is actually very impressive indeed. As we move up to the crest, you can see these lovely splayed horns, and even the horns themselves have got extra splashes of detail, just these little bits of brown just to add some variation in there into the paint job. Just absolutely fantastic. As we move down the neck, you can see we've got some lovely creases and folds. Really nice level of sculpt work going on here. As it transitions into the shoulder, again, really lovely creases, just lovely lines of compression, very naturalistic, very genuine looking. Along the back, you can see that this area here is almost like plates of armor going along the back, where they've done these sort of ridges of scales, almost crocodilian looking actually. But they've got a variation in the types of scales, so you've got these square ones here, and then you've got these round ones as you come away from that. So really nice attention to detail there on something that really they could have just done a plain old spine, just a normal, you know, protrusion along the back, but they've gone into this incredible level of detail in the sculpt. As we move down the legs, you can see we transition from a sort of a gold yellow into this bright sunny yellow here, and then we get a splash of blue on the feet. There are individually painted toe claws there, very nice and very naturalistic looking. These look like the feet of rhinos or elephants, very nice. Nice little creases and lines of compression. They are a little bit flat looking, the legs. Maybe could do with a little bit more sculpt work like the rest of the body, but to be honest, that's a minor gripe. As we move across the torso, you can see there's some nice baggy looking skin around here. Again, beautiful sculpt work going all the way around to the belly. It softens off and loses a little bit of that detail on the belly there, but still just an absolutely incredible sculpt. As we move into the back leg, not a massive amount of muscle definition, but again that feels very naturalistic. It feels a bit like a rhino's leg. It's quite flabby and there's less definition. Really nice sculpted back feet in comparison to the front feet. Just a nice sort of variation there, nice creases there, some lines of compression, really, really nice. Lovely striations going on here behind the back leg. And then as we move into the tail, you can see we've got a stubby tail going on. Its bright coloration continues throughout, and then a splash of blood red at the end. Initially I thought this dinosaur was injured because of this splash of blood red, but actually no, this is part of his paint scheme. You know, it's kind of to tie in with what's on the front here and also what's on the legs. So then as we transition to the other side, you can see lovely sculpt work on this leg. There's actually more sculpt work on this side than there is on the opposite side. Really naturalistic creases, very nice indeed. Again, same here. Lovely sort of loose hanging skin here, nice broad scales across the torso, really, really nice. And again, much more sculpt work going on this side, so I don't know if the other side has suffered from the moulding process, but you get a lot more feeling of, you know, the lines of compression here in this leg. And then as we transition back into the neck, you can see here again more creases, and then we come back to that fabulous head sculpt. So in terms of articulation, you have the head on a ball joint. It is a little bit restricted, but you have to remember that not many toys were really using ball joints back in that time, 1997. So it's quite impressive to have that sort of amount of articulation for a toy coming out then. The jaw does open and close, goes fairly wide. It is a little bit hindered by the movement of the head, but still, that's very cool indeed. The legs can rotate forward and backwards. There's actually elbow joints as well, which is pretty cool, and they bend quite far. They're not limited, so you can get quite a lot of posing out of that. Same with the back legs, they can go forward and backward. They can bend at the knee, and they can go quite far. So that is actually really, really impressive, and they can even bend forwards. So you can get a lot of articulation out of those legs. The tail is actually made of rubber, but it's not posable. There's no wire in there, so it's nice to have a rubbery feeling tail. The majority of the body is a hard plastic. The head, the torso, and up to here is hard plastic, and then it transitions into this rubbery tail. The legs feel like a mixture of rubber and a hard plastic, so they're sort of like a halfway house between them. So that's interesting. Same again on the other side, so legs rotate at the knee. Same with the front leg, and then we're back to that ball joint head. So it's quite a sizable figure. You're looking at just over 10 inches, which is about 26-27 centimeters. And in terms of the height, you're looking at about 6.5 inches, which is about 16-17 centimeters. Okay, size comparison time. Let's bring in the Dinosaur McDonald's Carnotaurus. If you haven't seen the video for this one, link is down below. You can see the Styracosaurus dwarfs this miniature figure. We've also got Ema, who is an elderly Styracosaurus. And you can see that Ema just looks like a baby Styracosaurus next to this one from Toyway. So there we go. I've also got a Pacific Rim NECA leatherback. Let's bring him in. And actually these two sit quite strangely well together. They have a similar stylization, so I think they'll look good next to each other on the shelf. Last but not least, here's the Cherno Alpha NECA figure from Pacific Rim, and I don't think the Styracosaurus will want to stand next to this one on the shelf for risk of being rocket punched in the face. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the Toyway Resaurus Carnage Styracosaurus. We've got another 2 dinosaurs from this line to review, and I am absolutely ecstatic about these. I can't say enough good things about them. What speaks for itself is that I put this thing straight on my shelf for display, and that's because of the incredible detail that they put into the sculpt and the wonderful colour that they put into the paint job. I really think this is a standout piece in anyone's dinosaur collection, so if you get to see these on eBay, definitely pick them up. In the meantime, guys, do you own these? Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this line? I think it's great to see something that's so well articulated and painted, and it's from 1997. It's unbelievable. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. As normal, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.